Dudes are really good football players, but they'll be the first ones to tell you it all starts with those guys up front. And proud of DJ's he made 2 or 3 big plays with his legs today. Same thing with Cade. I think Cade ended up with 2 touchdowns, in the goal line red zone area. So good to see the quarterbacks making plays with their legs, both running it and extending plays.
Is EJ still limited right now?
Yeah, he's limited. He'll be back soon. Hopefully Monday he's running routes and stuff and getting ready to get back in there. But it was just kind of a weird deal. And then he goes out to the lake and decides he wants to jump on a tube. So that probably didn't help the speediness of the recovery. He's like, I was just laying down. Yeah. Y'all ever tube? Hang on for your life, right? But, he'll be all right.
Will Taylor is similar to Renfro, former quarterback, former wide receiver. How would you compare his acclimation to the position at the similar point in Renfro?
Yeah. The difference is Renfro spent that whole redshirt year working on the craft. Will didn't. Will played. That 4th game we were just starting to kind of, transitioning. Switch meeting rooms and all that. And, 2 plays in or whatever, he's out. So that's the difference. And you see that. So he looks like a freshman out there. He's so natural as far as just he's explosive, he's fast, and he's strong, he's compact, he's a really good finisher on the ball. All that stuff's natural. But the route running, the influence, the break points, the nuances of the position, he's like a true freshman out there because he hasn't done it. Playing with your hands, he's just never done it. And he gets better, but he just gets better every day because he's such a worker and such a grinder. And then Antonio is he's not as strong as Will, but he's just more natural because that's what he's always done, but they're going to both end up in the same spot when it's all said and done. I mean, Will's just going to keep getting better and better and better. He's just what we thought he'd be. Again, the difference is we wish we had had him last year to work through some of these things that we're working through right now.
With Antonio coming into the summer, how is he doing just as far as picking up the offense and being ready to go out and play?
He's doing good. We're at that point now where we're trying to get him to learn, 2 spots. And I think he feels good about our 5-man and where he is there, but we need him to know the 2 as well. We've got to be able to be interchangeable right there. So he's coming. He's picking it up. We had a nice play today. He's doing a good job. Drew's had a heck of a camp. He's done he's savvy and he's done a really good job. So Hampton Earl's another kid that nobody really talks about. He's a very savvy dude that really knows how to play and can help us as well. So we've just got a lot of guys. Hamp Green, other areas right there. Hamp, he's a really functional player. So it's a position of strength for us. Excellent. Tight ends were excellent. Outside of we had a penalty in the red zone, a holding call, and then we had we got it, but we had a third and 6, and a third and 5, and we come up 6 inches short, on the catch, and that's situational awareness. You don't put me in that situation. We went for it, and it was a 40-yard touchdown run. So, but we got to get the first down on the catch. So just some situational things, but man, they made plays. Brenny had an excellent day. He had 3 or 4 catches. Davis a couple catches. Sage may have had 1. Luke may have had 1. Sapp had a nice play. I tell you, a little Sapp. So really glad we got him. He's a little ball player now. He's tough. He's natural. He's a really good athlete. He just comes easy for him. He's a thick kid, He ain't afraid. He's played linebacker. He's played DN. He's played quarterback. He's played running back. He's a basketball player. He's just a really smooth athlete. So I'm really, really excited about him. And again, he made a nice play today. So, as a group, it's a good group.
Moving Trenton into the inside linebacker, what did you see today with him at that position? Did it work out? Did he transition like you wanted to?
Well, I mean, he's doing great. We'll see what all he did today as far as just doing his job. Sometimes you do your job well, but you may not have made a bunch of plays because, just the nature of the call or whatever. But, we'll grade this tonight and this afternoon, and we'll spend a lot of time talking about personnel tomorrow and kind of where we are, and then, moving forward through Wednesday. And then really kind of clean everything up on Thursday. We're going to give him 2 days, Friday and Saturday, to rest and recover. At that point, you've been going 2.5 weeks, and just give him 2 days rest, come back on Sunday, and then break camp that Wednesday after that. So, we'll see. We'll grade him. But he's been awesome. No problem.
I'm sorry. Any positions on the defense, any position groups in particular where you feel like you still need to make a jump and into the season?
Not really. They all got work to do. I'm not really sitting here going, oh man, we got a long way to go at this position or this position. I think we got really good players at every position. We just got to be disciplined. We've got to be detailed in what we do, and we got to be dependable. Down in and down out, and really good situational, awareness. That's really it. Just continue to bring guys along. I think we've got good players and good depth. The young guys is probably the biggest area I want to see. Koval and Toriano and J. Lou. Those guys kind of keep coming and just become more and more dependable. But we've got good leadership. It's a good group.
What's your take on Malcolm Green, just sort of where he is right now?
Yeah, it's good. He's playing corner and playing nickel for us. Got a lot of confidence in Malcolm. Made a couple plays today. Same thing. Really good leader. Very functional football player. Could probably play safety for us as well if we needed it.
Watching Xavier yesterday, he looks amazing physically. What kind of a week has he had?
He's had a great camp. He really has. He's as focused as he's ever been. I've never ever seen him run like I've seen him run. He's really, really fast and just playing within the scheme. And the probably thing I'm most proud of with him is just he's really developed into a good leader. He's a good leader. And, proud of him. David Thomas he's what coach is all about. I'm just really proud of him and who he is, how he's developed and matured as a man, and just his conscientiousness on all the little things.
Dabo, with Colby and Antonio, do you have that same level of maybe trust in them that you did with Will, that you could have that confidence in them to return punts against Georgia Tech?
Right now, no. We got a long way to go, but we'll see. I think they're very natural. Certainly, play today it'd be Willie T for sure. A lot of confidence in him, but he's on his way to having a great year for us last year. But I do think Antonio and Cole will be good return guys as they go. But I'm sure you'll see them at some point this year. As of today, I would not run them out there.
I noticed on the left side of the line, J-Mac and Marcus tackling guard. Does that feel set, or is there some?
We've actually, we've flipped them. We've cross-trained them. Marcus has worked left tackle because we've got again. What if J-Mac, got an ingrown toenail and couldn't walk? Who's the next best tackle? Is it Marcus and moving a guard in there? So we've tried to just. It's a lot like the NFL. When you got dress 7 or 8, and you got to have some flexibility. But when you're in our situation, you just want to get who's the best 5, who's the next best 5, or the next who's 7, 8, whatever. And so sometimes it means the guy has to move. So we've cross-trained J-Mac and Marcus on both sides. But Marcus is doing he's just night and day from where he was this time last year. I mean, night and day. So much, his body's different and stronger, but he's just so much more confident and sure of himself. And as a result, you play more physical, you play faster. You know, your endurance is a little bit better because you're not hyperventilating every play. And so it's been good. They've done a nice job. Putnam's been excellent. Putnam has been really good. That's probably been my thing I'm most pleased with is our snaps during camp. It's been really, really good. Really good.
Got any false starts today that you recall?
We had a couple. Yeah, we had a couple.
Cade getting back in the stadium, playing live, just how far have you seen him going since the spring?
Cade?
Yes, sir.
I mean, he just kind of picked up where he left off, you know. I mean, he just moment's never too big for him. I mean, he's just a very natural kid. You know, he's very eager. He's got a lot of energy, and you know, I thought he did a good job. Had one really bad play, but you know, he's just a bigger, stronger version of what we saw in the spring. Smarter.
As you said, he had purple jersey syndrome during the spring scrimmage, so you feel like he's getting the ball now.
Yeah, he had a couple of those today too. He had a couple where it was a sack and we needed to get rid of it. You know, sometimes they kind of get in a bad habit out here, but you know, but we can't afford to hit quarterbacks. You know, so it is what it is. Got to kind of coach him out of that, and you play yourself out of it. But he'll learn. He'll learn, and he's really fast, and so you know he's got a lot of confidence in his ability to run, and he's learning that we got other fast people too that can also run. You know, I think he got away with a lot in high school because not many guys can run with him. But we got some dudes on the other side of the ball that they run a little bit too.
I saw you working on rugby points yesterday.
Yeah.
Could that be a clincher with these three guys?
It's just a part of our inventory. You know, we got a lot of, you know, types of kicks that we have to work on, kickoffs, you know, different types of kickoffs, lots of different types of punts. And, you know, you just never know what your situation is, you know, weather, wind, you know, maybe there's some elite returner, you know, whatever it is. And you know, so you just if you just have a fastball, usually they hit it. You know, kind of want to be Greg Maddux, right? You want to have all the pitches, you know. So kind of hard to have all the pitches if we don't work on it. So we work on it. A little different too with a lefty. First time we've really had to kind of coach that up. We did it a couple times last year, but you know, so just something we got to have in our toolbox. You know, just depending on how people play. We're a shield punt team, and so how people play that changes from week to week. So sometimes you just gotta make sure you've got a different way to get the ball off based on maybe game plan or how they stress your protection.
Any cornerbacks who caught your eye?
I mean, not really. I saw J. Lou make a nice PBU, but we had 2 or 3 PIs today. But we'll see the tape. You know, we'll see what all was on there.
Have you done any opponent-specific stuff yet?
Well, I mean, we've done all of our you know, first 3 or 4 opponents from spring and early summer, just our normal preseason scouting report stuff that we always do. So yeah, we've done a lot of preseason study on what we think and just gathering information, and, you know, spring games and you know all that type of stuff. And going back to last year, you know, we're going to play a lot of different coaches this year. There's a lot of different coordinators that's on our schedule. So I mean, some of it just doesn't help you. That's what makes the opener hard. You know, Georgia Tech's got different people, different players, transfers, you know, all kind of different things. So you know, as y'all heard me say, the opener to me is always the hardest game because you got more time to prepare than any other game that you ever have, and there's so many unknowns. You just don't. I mean, you think you know. Usually, you know, when you play 2 or 3 games, you start to at least have an identity. You know a little bit more about their personnel. You have a much better feel for who they are schematically. Not that you don't have game plan stuff from week to week, but just, you know, a little bit of a personality. When you've had all spring and all summer, and you don't know a lot about their personnel, especially when there's a lot of influx of new people and coaches, it just creates, you know, extra stress because you know there's just, especially in the early part of the game, there's a lot of feeling out going on. Like, okay, you think you kind of have an idea of who they are, but you don't really know. And we had that happen last year. Whoever we were playing, but they, you know, they played everything we didn't prepare for, and we had a hard time with it. But you know, just making adjustments.
I don't know if you saw any of it last night, but pretty neat to have two of your quarterbacks share the field in an NFL game.
I did not. We were out here, so we had a late walkthrough last night, so I did not get to see it, unfortunately. Hopefully they got a picture. I don't know if they got a picture. I hadn't seen it yet, but maybe they did. But yeah, you know, pretty cool. Two national championship quarterbacks get a chance to play against each other.
Take one or two more if anybody has any.
Peyton Page with the weight loss, how do you think he might mix in reserve this year on that line?
He's going to be a great one. I mean, he can play. He looks great, moving great. He's playing with a high motor. He's just got a lot more energy to him. And, he's again, that's a position of depth for us. So hopefully we can play fast and physical and wear people down. And he'll be a part of that for sure. Cade Parton had 2 sacks today. It was good to see. Good to see him. Denhoff's another guy, you know, don't really ever get asked about, but redshirt freshman. You know, really like what I'm seeing from Denhoff. Greg Williams had a nice play today. You know, Swint. You know, we got a lot of guys outside of just the everybody talks about that I think will make a difference for us this year.
Anybody else?